Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Coins Alert. This is Rich, making another movie about XRP today, as always. Today, no matter where you are in the world, I hope you're all having a great day. We're going to talk about XRP. I have to start with this. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, was on Trump's Truth Social to talk about how the Trump effect is changing crypto deals in the US. This is where you can see it. It's completely real. I agree with Brad that the government is moving in the right way, not just with XRP, but with all of crypto. But he wants the US to treat all cryptocurrencies the same and not favor one over another. What does he always talk about when he talks about crypto? He also talks about other types of cryptocurrency. Even the strategic reserve was meant to make things fair for everyone. Why not hold some XRP too if you're going to hold Bitcoin? Why not add some XLM crypto coins made in the US? But the news that Brad is going to be on Truth Social, I'm sure this will make a lot of Bitcoin bigs mad. But don't forget about SEC versus Ripple. SEC says Crypto Task Force could help stop the case against Coinbase. The case was brought in 2023. Since 2020, Ripple has been in a fight with the SEC. Why pick and choose which cases to end first? If you have to start over, work on the oldest cases first, and then move on to the Coinbase claim. Also, all of these cases were pointless to begin with. It was only because the SEC wanted to slow down Ripple that the case against them began. The big banks got their politicians to sue Ripple with the SEC while they were with their politicians. We're still stuck in it here. It's 2025, so stop that fake news already. Tom Weller says that the student talked badly about XRP and then put me on a panel with Joe Katz. As promised, this is the talk that will be held in Denver at Innovate Denver. You can also see Tomer Weller and Joe Katz there. What's more, that post caused a fight between people who use XRP and XLM. Also, that should not have happened. Both of them are great cryptocurrencies. Both of them will be a part of the new money system. I now have to deal with a lot of false information. This was the beginning of it all. You see that XRP is your favorite cryptocurrency. Another poll asked, which technology will last the longest? XRP won again. A lot of Bitcoin bulls launched another full-on attack on the XRP community. First, listen to Jack Mallers. Pay attention to this crap. Jed McCaleb is the right answer. Talk Jed McCaleb. People don't know. Started Mt. Gox and sold software to Mark Karpellis, who said he knew there was a hole in it. In the end, it ran out of money and all of that happened. He helped start a company called OpenCoin, which later changed its name to Ripple Labs, and he made XRP. After that, he quit and made Stellar Lumen coin. So he's basically three things that ripped people off and cost them a lot of money. Okay, it was a surprise to me that both XRP and Ripple were fake. It looks like the government likes Ripple. They meet Brad all the time. The bank really likes Ripple. Brad is always able to sit down at the table. The IMF really likes Ripple, which is the best bank for international settlement. Ripple is their thing. Ripple is spreading and growing all over the world. And you have people like Jack Mallers is just spreading lies and insults because they are scared right now. These people are scared that XRP will become the best, and this person is the worst. He was wrong, but Matt Hamilton showed him, so he said this anyway. In other words, XRP can freeze your money at any time. You don't really own your money. They can freeze it whenever they want for no reason. Who in their right mind would want someone else to manage their money? That's why I picked Bitcoin, he says, and this was even checked out. So the XRP system does have a freeze button, but it can only be used on tokens that have already been burned. XRP can't be frozen. This was also talked about with him in a real chat with Matt Hamilton. Also, Matt Hamilton told him that Bitcoin can only do 7 trades per second and that there is no way to change that. Still, I see this guy every day saying that the Bitcoin network handles thousands of transactions every second. They are now fully in fear mode. They know that XRP is going to take the top spot. It got so bad that David Schwartz went on Twitter to X and just tell the truth. So Bitcoin gets most of its value from people who bet that more people will bet on Bitcoin's value in the future than will bet on its value today. This means that demand will rise over time. That's what David Schwartz said. Besides that, he said and measured in everyday terms, this is, again, the only smart way to compare things. Things that are common tend to be worth more than things that are rare. In terms of dollars, for example, it's hard to find something more important than land, which is everywhere. Following this, he says, I don't think the network or the security of the network really adds to present value, other than to help us understand why we might expect future demand to rise. But I might be wrong about that. I don't see how you could test or measure that. Then someone asked him about the Bitcoin reserve, and David Schwartz said, I'm weakly against it. Over many years, selling the dollar has been very good for the US economy, and I find it strange that we wouldn't want to be a part of it ourselves. It doesn't make much sense for the people who make the dollar to keep Bitcoin on hand as a hedge against inflation. or the dollar. For everyone except the US government, having digital assets saved up makes sense as a defense against inflation or the fall of fiat currencies. In some cases, it can even be seen as an investment, but no one has ever tried to explain why such a reserve is necessary to me. Maybe I don't see the sense because I'm not smart enough to figure it out myself, he said. His next thought was that if it solved a problem, it might be useful in a reserve. He then talks about gold. That does make me think of a good question. Why does the US have gold? From what I know, there are several reasons for this. Our money has always been backed by gold, and it's hard to get out of that habit even if we wanted to. Having something of real value helps keep our currency's value. Gold is used in real life, in health, electronics, and airplanes. For reasons of national security, it makes sense to store some things. There's no way any of these could be used for a digital object. Again, though, it could be that I don't know much about this subject. I've always thought it was smart for the US government to keep XRP in a cash pool instead of a reserve. You might want to hold on to XRP and only use it for what it was made for. Europe needs money from the US. In other words, they put US dollars into XRP and get euros back. You can use it for what it was made for, which is to move the US dollar quickly and cheaply. The US dollar would get stronger. We could also buy Bitcoin, store it for 20 years, and use the money to pay off half of our debt. Not the whole bill, but half of it. I don't get that at all. We're having a lot of trouble right now. Why look ahead 20 years? Keeping that Bitcoin will only pay off half of the debt in the long run. So the debt will keep going up. In 20 years, you might only be able to pay off 5% of the loan. It doesn't make sense. Or Bitcoin falls apart because of quantum computing. There may be more problems to come. The end of Tether. David Schwartz points out that the main difference between Bitcoin and XRP is how their supplies change over time. He says that it's not fair to compare their supplies based only on unit numbers. Even though XRP has 100 billion tokens and Bitcoin has 21 million tokens, Bitcoin has a higher market value per unit than XRP, so its overall supply is greater than XRP's when measured in common units like dollars. Schwartz goes on to say that the supply of Bitcoin is bigger than the supply of XRPs when measured in dollars. It doesn't make sense to say that Bitcoin is less rare than XRP. That could have been what BlackRock was all along. For example, David Schwartz's idea says that there are more Bitcoins than XRPs. He also talks about sats. Just to be clear, Bitcoin has the worst security model of any project ever made. To go over this one more time, David Schwartz, it depends on honest people spending more money to keep it safe than a dishonest person might, in theory, be willing to spend to attack it. I also think that most people truly willing to spend to attack it, it sounds like he already thinks Bitcoin security is bad. Most people don't want to spend the money to hack it, which is the only thing stopping them. Now, someone might decide in the future, let's just attack the Bitcoin network. This is very easy to do, but it's more than that. As time goes on, I think its ties to China will cause Trump a lot of trouble. Since this is the case, I think to myself, this really does solve a problem. I quickly lose interest in something that doesn't fix a problem. It's like saying, okay, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to hold on to it. It's going to go up in value in 4 years. And then I wait and see what happens. Or I buy this now, put it away, and wait for adoption to happen. Then a lot of people will accept it. I'm going to get wealth that will last for generations. That's what I think makes it different. It's all about being useful. I think that utility is very important in crypto. That's why I'm a utility dress. Yes, I do talk a lot about XRP, but I really love HBAR. I love XDC so much. I really like XLM too. One thing I don't like about XLM is that we were told a lot of things would happen quickly, and it looks like it will take longer than planned. However, XLM is a great coin. It has a lot of things. I'm just waiting for the price to catch up with the growth so far. After that, you can look at Algo, IOTA,